Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Sorry for that little technical difficulty we just had before. We are learning Mishna Gittin, Parak Zayin, chapter 7, Mishnah 8. Mishnah Ches, Mishnah 8. Today's Mishnah is sponsored by the Garland children, Lozei Chanishmas, of their uncle, Gabriel ben Meshenachem. And it is also sponsored by, today's Mishnah is sponsored by Benislava Abramova, Zechanishmas, her father, Mr. Reuven Metric, Reuven ben Menachem Mendel.
Amen.
Okay. Hareza Gitech. A person says, this is your get. If I do not come back from now until 12 months. Okay, so if I do not return within the next 12 months, this is then your get is a get. But he died within those 12 months. The Mishnah says, ain't a get, it's not a get. Why not? Why isn't it a get? I mean, he's not coming back, right? The condition was, if I don't come back in 12 months, he's not coming back. The thing is, though, that because he said, this is your get if I don't come back within 12 months, then that means that his intention was that the get should take effect when? When I don't come back. That's when it takes effect. And since he died before that, then the get can't take effect. Mm-hmm. What's the nafkamina? What's the practical difference? Regarding Yibum, right? If he has no children, he dies without children, then if they were divorced before he died, there's no Yibum. If he dies without a get being given, then there's Yibum. So in this case, since he conditioned the gets going into effect on, or he said that it should take place when, he means to say when he doesn't come back after 12 months, that's when the get takes effect, but he died beforehand, so it's not a get. However, let's say he says this is your get from now, if they don't come back within 12 months. So that means he said that if he doesn't come back in 12 months, when does the get take effect? From now, retroactively. And therefore, if the case is umeis b'sayich shnei masar chaydish, and he dies within 12 months, harei a get. Then it is a get, because he's not coming back within 12 months. And not coming back within 12 months is a condition to say that if that condition is met, the get works from when it was given, when it was handed to her. And that we know because he said from now, when he gave it to her. So therefore, in this case, it is a good get. That's Mishnah Ches. Let's do Mishnah Tes. If limloi basi mikan ashlem asar chaydish kisvu utenu gedli ishti. Doing the next Mishnah Tes, Mishnah 9. He says like this: if I don't return in 12 months, kisvu utenu gedli ishti, write and give a divorce to my wife. Got the case? Mm-hmm. He says, if I don't come back within 12 months, write and give a get to my wife. And the case here was, kasvu get b'soich shneim asar chaydish. They decided to write the get before the 12 months. V'nasnu la'achar shneim asar chaydish. And they gave it after 12 months. So what's the halacha? Is it a good get or not? Says the Mishnah, ain't a get. Not good. Because when he said, if I don't come back within 12 months, write and give the get to my wife, when did he tell them to write the get? He told them to write the get if I don't come back in 12 months. So Badei wrote that means he wants to get written after that time, at that point of time. And if they write it earlier, they weren't empowered to write it. He never gave them the power to write it before 12 months. And therefore, it's not a good get. Let's say he says, kisvu tnu get li ishti. He says, write and give a divorce for my wife. If I don't come back, if I don't come from now until 12 months. So you got the case. What's the difference in this case? In this case, instead he mentioned what to do before the condition. In the first case of the Mishnah, he said the condition and then he said what to do. And in this case, he says what to do and then he mentions the condition. So what happened? Same case as before. Kasvu b'sayich shneim asar chaydish. They wrote it within 12 months. V'nasnu la'achar shneim asar chaydish. And they gave it after 12 months. What's the halacha? Ain't a get. It's still not a good get. even though here he said write and give the get, and then he said the condition, nonetheless, again, we say the condition is going back on everything he said before regarding writing and giving, and therefore he did not give them the power to write the get before 12 months, and therefore when they did, it's not a good get. Rabbi Yosi Omer Kazeh get. Rabbi Yosi says, in this case, it is a good get. In this case where he gave instructions before the condition, here we say he doesn't care when you write the get. All that matters is when you give the get. Now, if you think about it, in this case, in the second case, his wording is write and give the get to my wife if I don't come back. So the condition is closest to which word? To give. Right? He says write and give if I don't come back. So according to Rabbi Yosi says that person in the case where he gives the instructions first, then we say that the condition is going back on the last thing that he said, which is utnu get and give a get. In the first case, where he says the condition, if I don't come back, write and give the get. Okay, so he makes the condition first, and then he tells, okay, so what's the instructions that this condition is being made on? It's being made on write and give. But in the second case, it comes out that he gives the instructions, and then he says the condition. So according to Rabbi Yosi, the way they explain it here in the notes is, that according to Rabbi Yosi, if a person meant that he does not want the get not even to be written before the 12 months that he didn't come back, then he would have said it like in the case of the first Mishnah. He would have said, if I don't come from now until 12 months, write and give. If you mean to have your condition going on all the instructions, then the typical way of doing that would be to give the instructions first, make the condition first, and then give the instructions. If you do it the other way around, then that means to say that your condition is going back on the last thing that you said, which was give. And therefore, Rabbi Yosi argues and he says that if the case were to be that he gave the instructions write and give, and then the condition if I don't come back in 12 months, then writing, he doesn't care when the writing is. So therefore, even if they write it within the 12 months, his main point is to give it after 12 months. If that's what they did, it's a good get. Last case in the Mishnah. Kasvu la'achar shema tzar chodesh. They went ahead and they wrote the get after the 12 months. V'nasnu la'achar shema tzar chodesh. And they gave it after 12 months, meaning, everything worked out in the sense of, he didn't come back in 12 months. When did they write it? After 12 months. When did they give it? After 12 months. They took care of everything unquestionable. V'meis. And then he died. So, im haget kadam lamisa, if the get preceded the death, raise a get, then it's a kosher get, then it's an effective get. The emisa kadma laget, but if he died before the get was given, in a get, then it's not a get because he died beforehand. And again, the ramifications are for yibum. If the get was given before he died, there will be no yibum when he dies without children. But if the get was given after he died first, then there's yibum. Because the get doesn't count, it doesn't work then. There's no point of the get because he died. The marriage is over from that point. Now, let's say we don't know. We don't know what came first. Did he die first? Did she get the get first, or did he die first? So that's what the Mishnah says. If it's not known, zohi sha'amru. This is where they, the sages, said, Megoreshas ve'ena megoreshas. She's divorced and not divorced. Meaning we don't know what her status is. We don't know was she divorced or not, and what's the ramifications of that. If she was divorced, then there's yibum, right? Which means she can't go marry someone until there's chalitza. If the get was given before yibum, then there's no. Get was given before the death, then there's no mitzvah of yibum. If no mitzvah of yibum, she's not allowed to marry him. So again, if the get was before the death, then she can't marry him. Yibum, there would be no mitzvah of yibum, but she can't marry him. If the get was given after he died, then there is yibum. So what's her status here? Can the guy do yibum on her? No, because maybe she was divorced beforehand. Can she walk scot-free and marry somebody else? No, because maybe he died before the get was given, and there is a mitzvah of Yibum. So therefore, in order for her to move forward and be able to marry somebody else, she needs chalitza from her brother-in-law. The chalitza will then free her in case there is Yibum here. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.